How y'all doing out there? Y'all know what time it is. Your boy Easy Work Boxing about to hit you everywhere but under your feet with this one. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what time it is. I keep it fair and square. No bias talk on this channel. I got to give y'all my Benavidez versus David Morel prediction. And this is a tough one. This is a tough fight. You know, both of these dudes right here, they're going to bring it. Both of these dudes gonna bring. We're gonna break it down to you a little bit. You know, we're gonna explain. You know about both of these fighters. David Morrell, 11-0, 9 KOs. You understand me? Amateur career. They say it's from 105. They say 6 losses, but then they got also that he got 130 wins with 2 losses. So when it comes to amateur background, you know, of course, he beats David Benavidez. When it comes to that, he got more of the advantage when it comes to the amateurs. David Benavidez, 29-0, 24 KOs. You know, David Benavidez only is 15-0 in amateur. But we also have to remember this about David Benavidez. He's been sparring juggernauts in boxing since he was a kid. So when you put that against 130 and 2 losses in the amateurs, and then you go and you put a 15-0 record against a guy who's been sparring big names since he was a kid, that kind of add up with each other. Now, when it comes to the reach and advantages, let me go look at that. You know, David Morel has a 78.5 reach. David Benavidez has a 74.5 reach. So it goes to David Morrell for the longer reach. You know, David Morrell also, from what I understand, he has the youth advantage as well. See, this fight right here is going to be about training, game plan, and who has the more heart and technical skill. Now, one thing about both of these fighters come forward. They don't back up. They're gonna bring it to you raw and uncut. To determine who's going to be the winner of this fight is the person who's going to back up the most. Now, David Benavidez, faster hands. He's more faster than, you know, David Morrell. He's a better counterpuncher, in my opinion. Both of them, to me, has the same amount of power. You know, they don't have one punch knockout power, but they have an accumulation of punches that could get you up out of there. David Morrell, you know, he comes across more hungry. You know, especially coming from Cuba, his Cuba background and how he got here into the pros. Of course, you know, that's going to, you know, take up, you know, for, you know, some of the things that he lacks, you know, his hunger, his youth, his reach, things like that are going to be factors in the fight. But also we got to think about the experience of David Benavidez. We cannot forget that, and we have to mention that as much as we can when we talk about David Benavidez. His experience is way more greater than, you know, Morrell's. But if you look at David Morrell's career, David Morrell, you know, even though he hasn't fought the names of David Benavidez, you know, he ain't been out there cherry picking either. You know, he got 9 fights, and I'm gonna name y'all some of them. He got 15-6, 22-0, 26-3, 12-0, 28-2. 15-1, 16-0, 24-1, 28-2, 29-2. You know, now he got David Benavidez 29-0. So he hasn't chose the easy route. You know, he ain't out there picking just, you know, guys with bad records and more losses than wins. You know, he's out there really going up the ladder, you know, doing what he got to do. But yet and still, none of these guys are David Benavidez. You know, to me, in my opinion, you know, some may disagree. I think David Benavidez is a better counter puncher. David Benavidez, he catches you a lot when you're, whatever mistakes you make when you're open, whether it's to the body or to the head. You know, David Morrell is a southpaw. You know, you got to respect them southpaws. You know, you won't see it coming. You know, and like I said, this fight is going to be based on who backs up the most. The fighter that you see back up the most is not going to win this fight, and this will not go 12 rounds. It will not go 12 rounds, I promise y'all. But like I said, it goes to the trainer. We got Running Shields, you know, the trainer of Morel, you know, legitimate, long time educated trainer in the sport of boxing. And then we got David Benavidez Sr., who I feel, you know, is not that well of a trainer. I think his son has just made it off, you know, his own skills in the sport. You know, I'm not saying that David Benavidez Sr. Hasn't done anything to help his son become, you know, the fighter that he is, but I just think that David Benavidez is just blessed with the ability that he has, and his father didn't teach him that much. But you know, this fight being at 175 to me is an advantage for David Benavidez, because adding on, you know, the pounds moving up for David Morrell, you know, when a fighter moves up in weight, they lose something. I always tell y'all that they lose their power, they may lose power, they may lose speed. It's something that you may lose moving up. So I think it was a smart idea for David Benavidez to choose this fight to be at 175. And I think that may be an advantage for David Benavidez. But you all know that, and when it comes to the youth advantage, we got David Morrell on that. You know, David Morrell is 26. Benavidez is, I think, what, about 29 years old. Oh, the box rate want to mess up on me now. But, you know, let me see. See how the box rate want to mess up on me now. But I think the youth advantage goes to David Benavidez. Now, I see mistakes that Benavidez make. Come on now, Cameron. Don't do this to me now, Cameron. I see mistakes that Benavidez make. I see mistakes that Morel makes. And one thing I will say about this, if you look at it from a technical standpoint, I know a lot of people see the bruteness of David Benavidez, and of course, everybody's going to, you know, ride with David Benavidez in this situation. Everybody gonna say that David Benavidez is gonna come out on top because he's a brute. You know, David has got a better resume. He's fought the Caleb Plants. He's fought the Demetrius Andrades. You know, anybody basically will really be a fool to not choose David Benavidez with his spin. But one thing I want y'all to think about, David Benavidez, even when he was younger, he struggled with Gavril, and Gavril was younger than David Benavidez. That Gavril was like 31, and David Benavidez had a hard time with him. Now, with Morel being a southpaw and being younger, you know, it may be some problems. The only problems that I may see that I don't see with Morel is just his come forward style. But that could be changed with a game plan from Ronnie Shields to come in and, you know, box and move from angles. One thing, create distance. Don't stand in front of David Benavidez. You know, he's very dangerous once you stand in front of him. If you want, that's the deadliest mistake you can do with him. And since his reach is longer, use your feet. You're younger. You can move around the ring. You have the ability to, you know, work from angles and not just stand there in front of David Benavidez. But yet we all know that David Benavidez, you know, still comes forward just like Morel comes forward. But he has to change up the game plan in order to beat David Benavidez. At this point right now, to be honest with y'all, I'm going with David Benavidez. Unless Ronnie Shields and his team can come up with a game plan for Morel. To me, Morel still fights very amateurish. You know, he doesn't use the jab to create distance. For him to have the long reach, he comes forward just like David Benavidez. But in this fight, he'll have to outsmart the monster. You have to use that jab. Also, the body attack. One thing that really helped Gavril in that fight was the body attack. And that's something that I think Ronnie Shields, if he's going to watch any fight that can help David Morel, it should be the fight against Gavril, the first fight. I didn't watch the second fight because I know that Gavril knocked David Benavidez down in the first fight. And you could clearly see from the body punches, and even David Benavidez, even though he said, you know, pointed towards his body when he was getting hit to the body, you could tell that it was really bothering him that, you know, Gavril kept going to his body. So that should be the game plan of Ronnie Shields and his team. Use a jab. Don't head hunt. And that's something that Morel does a lot, is head hunt. You know, from him being a Cuban-style boxer, you know, I don't see too many uppercuts coming from David Morel. It's going to have to be a whole entire new game plan. He's going to have to be in the best shape of his life in order to beat David Benavidez. David Benavidez, one thing about this is we've never seen neither one of these fighters back up for real. So that's why I'm saying the person that bags up in this fight is going to be in trouble. And really, David Morrell has to make David Benavidez respect him. David Benavidez is not a quitter. You can hit him with some shots. You can tear his body up. David Benavidez is still gonna come and try to beat you. You know, there's no quitting David Benavidez. So I feel that the only way that Morrell can really get Benavidez to respect him is to hurt him early. He has to, because if he's not using his footwork like he should be, since he's the younger fighter, you know, he gonna be in trouble, y'all. He's gonna be in trouble against Dave Benavidez. He got to use his legs. He got to use his jab and have a full head body attack. You cannot head hunt David Benavidez all night. That's not the smartest thing to do. You have to tire him out, straight jabs to the body. You know, by Morrell being a southpaw, straight right hands to the body. You know, then come up back to the side. You know, hit him in the sides. You know, things like that. But if there's not a master game plan by Ronnie Shields, if they don't execute the game plan well on boxing and not going to war with David Benavidez, which I know a lot of people out here and expecting a war, but it shouldn't be a war with the arsenal that David Morrell has, the longer reach, the youth. You know, even though he doesn't have the names and the experience, the length of fights, this fight right here should not be a brawl. If it's a brawl, David Benavidez is going to knock out David Morrell. If it's a brawl, that's it. You can hang it up. He doesn't have any business out there trying to brawl with David Benavidez. You have to outsmart. Boxing is about hit and not get hit, about using your head and being smart. If David Morrell doesn't hurt David Benavidez early and make him respect his power and bag him up, David Benavidez is going to knock out David Morrell. He going to knock him out. You know, I made a video earlier before I studied these guys and looked at these guys. I said off just appearance, you know, me not studying that David Morrell, you know, from him coming forward, from him being a southpaw, that he was just going to beat David Benavidez. No, he's not. It's going to take a master game plan, and he's going to have to be in very much shape to go out there and beat David Benavidez. It's not just going to be no rock'em sock'em robot with David Benavidez, or he's going to lose. He going to lose. David Benavidez has good defense, great offense. Yes, he makes mistakes. Yes, you can. If you throw multiple punches at David Benavidez instead of one single punch, you know, you use your jab against David, 9 times out of 10 you can beat him. But it has to be a body attack. If there's no body attack, you're going to lose. You have to take that power away from him. You have to take David Benavidez's legs away from him. Like I said, you have to go back to the Gabriel fight. Gabriel was 31 years old, and I think Benavidez was, 20 years old. And that, to me, that was one of the hardest fights I ever seen him been in. Besides, you know, he fought Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade. Who else did he fight? I can't go back on BoxRec because, you know, BoxRec be tripping. You know, you have to have an account with them in order to keep watching and looking at things. But who else is David Benavidez fought? I think it was Derenchenko, Darrell. None of these fighters backed up David Benavidez. And I think, from what I see, neither one of these fighters, David Morrell or David Benavidez, can fight backing up for real. Or they've never been in a position to have to fight backing up. Most of the time when I've seen David Benavidez fighting backing up, he keeps the high guard and he continues to try to move forward to get his offense off. I haven't seen David Benavidez step back, throw a straight left hand or a straight right hand or anything, and, you know, committing to a punch as he's backing up. I haven't seen, you know, David Morrell being pushed back from his competition that he's fought. So It's going to be who can back the person up the most in this fight. It's going to be a tactical game plan for David Morrell. Really, all David Benavidez has to do is beat David Benavidez. See, all cards are leaning towards David Benavidez. All David Benavidez has to do is be himself. Come forward, fast hands, head, body. He knows when you open, when you leave your body open, when you make a mistake, drop your hand. David Benavidez catches you off every mistake that you make. And that's proven from his experience from beating Caleb Plants, from beating Demetrius Andrade, and also his pressure. When you fight David Benavidez, his pressure and how he comes towards you, it frustrates you. It stops you from thinking. So that's going to be a major factor in this fight too. Can David Morrell deal with the pressure of David Benavidez if he comes forward? Can he think when David Benavidez comes towards him? Because that's how David Benavidez beats a lot of his opponents, is he frustrates them. He give them no time to think or come up with a game plan in the ring. He probably take their whole game plan they've been training for away from him. Especially with the fighters who got more experience than David Morrell. But David Morrell has the youth. That youth should be his advantage. He has power too. He's a southpaw. So, like I say, this somebody wanted me to make this video, but this is a hard video to make, especially in the prediction wise. So both of them really are typical, about the same type of fighter, but due to David Benavidez's experience and his faster hands and his ability to what it is that they say, his ability to his punch accuracy. David Benavidez has great punch accuracy, especially when he's up close on you. Morrell cannot win this fight in close quarters. I'm just being straight up with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of these fighters are black, so you can't say I'm being biased or I like one more than the other. I'm just telling you straight up. Close quarter, Morrell loses. Morrell has to box. He has to box. So it's hard because it's hard to predict because both of them can win this fight, but it's about who has the better game plan. See, both of them, like I said, are the same fighter. One just faster with hands and one has more experience. But the fight can be won by Morrell from simply having a game plan and being in the best shape of his life in boxing. And the fight can be won by David Benavidez by just being David Benavidez and do what he always does. So I think it's going to be who shows who the least of respect. Since we've been in the press conference, we haven't seen David Morrell, lacking on respecting, disrespecting, David Benavidez. He talking his talk too. He's saying he's going to do which is a good thing. That's the best thing for anybody who's going out there for David Morrell. Pay attention to that, because the moment we see him stop disrespecting and stop saying what he's saying towards David Benavidez, he going to come up short. So the good thing about it is that he's literally out there, talking his trash to David Benavidez, not showing David Benavidez any respect. You can't go out there and beat a fighter that you respect. Y'all can respect each other after the fight all day long. But, I think it's going to come down to the trainers. And I think that Ronnie Shields, even though it don't matter when they get in the ring and he get punched in the face, I think that Ronnie Shields will come up with a better game plan to defeat David Benavidez. And I know people going to go against me with this, and people going to say I'm crazy and all this and that, but David Benavidez can be beat. It's very difficult to beat him. It's like trying to see if you could beat the Terminator when you watching him, because he brutal in the ring. But can David Benavidez fight backing up? Can he fight backing up? If Rodney Shields trains Morrell to use his jab and throw body shots and take the body away from David Benavidez, Morrell can knock out David Benavidez. Gavril knocked him down. Gavril was 31 years old and knocked David Benavidez on his butt. So, y'all, this is going to be a tough one. And as time went on, David Benavidez has gotten older, and he struggled with a 31-year-old that was going to his body. He struggled with a 31-year-old that was going to the body when he was 20 years old. That was one of his toughest fights against Gavril, which is why they gave the rematch. And I like David Benavidez. You know, I don't like what he did to my boy Demetrius Andrade at all, but I'm not going to be biased from it or try to, you know, knock down his skill set or anything of that nature because he beat my boy Demetrius Andrade. But if you don't box David Benavidez, if you don't have respect for power for David Benavidez, if you don't attack David Benavidez's body, you're going to lose. That's just what it is. You're gonna lose. If you can't bag David Benavidez up, you're gonna lose. Now, before I give my answer on my prediction, let me read some comments. You know, and then we're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Morel has more skills and talent than Benavidez. It's more mental strength thing for Morel. I wouldn't say he has more skills because when it comes to when you say he has more skills, I don't see David Morel doing any counterpunching. I don't see David Morel really throwing uppercuts. I don't see him catching and shooting. You know, I don't see really the more skills than David Benavidez. I see David Benavidez, in my opinion, being more technical than David Morel. I think David Morel is just more. He's fundamental and he has athleticism. But when it comes to skills, David Benavidez is a counterpuncher. He sees opening, he lands shot. His what I just said this earlier, his punch accuracy is better to me than David Morel's. His punch accuracy is better than David Morel's. So it's gonna be mental strength, and he's gonna have to do a lot more to beat David Benavidez, y'all. That straight left and hook is going to be there all night for Morel. It's just up to the application. Straight left and hook. Yeah. He's gonna have to throw more. He can't throw single punches and expect to beat David Benavidez. He's gonna have to go up, down, up, down, up, down. And I'm not talking about hit. David Morel has a problem with head hunting. He's gonna have to be a body attacker and a head hunter on that night. He can't just go to David Benavidez's head. That's not gonna help him at all. That's not gonna help him at all. Then you gotta remember they are going to 175, which makes it better for David Benavidez, which a way he's more comfortable at. Like I said, Morel, this is gonna be his first time fighting at 175. He may be a little slower. And David Benavidez already got faster hands than him. You see what I'm saying? David Benavidez got good legs too. Even though he was 3 years older, David Benavidez can move around the ring fast and everything too. One thing that both of them do, both of them lunge and punches. Both of them lunge and punches. So whoever is the better boxer, which I feel the better boxer is David Morel. Now the better fighter is David Benavidez, but a better boxer is David Morel. So if he can outbox David Benavidez, push him back, body punch, you know, clinch when it's necessary. You know, David Benavidez, when he get close to you, you're gonna throw them flurries, clinch, stop them flurries. I can see David Morel beating David Benavidez, but if he gets bagged up, it's over with. If there's no body attack, it's over with, y'all. He gonna get stopped. He gonna get stopped. Now, also the question is of chins. We didn't see David Benavidez get dropped by 31-year-old Gavril. I've seen, Morrell get punched, off, counter punches, straight right hands, and he took them and ate them, and he kept going. I've seen him, take them. But David Benavidez has been down before from body punches and being fatigued and laid around with Gavril. So, Morel last fight, I'm sorry, I've been laid off the sport of boxing. Since it's been looking like wrestling, I ain't really been paying no attention to it. I'm doing this for one of my subscribers who said he want me to make my opinion on it, do my video on it. And I didn't know his last fight was at 175. Well, that should be good. So that takes away the disadvantage the advantage of David Benavidez in his fight. So I want to say Morel, but Morel has to follow a game plan. And like they say, all game plans go out the window once you get hit in the face. All game plans go out the window once you get hit in the face. So what can I say? Let me go to like I said, the way for Benavidez to win is beat Benavidez. Don't back up. Come forward. Use them fast hands. Also use a jab. In this situation, the jabber might have the jab with the jab, which neither one of them really throw jabs. They come forward, they bruise. But the boxer is going to win that night. The better boxer is going to win between David Benavidez and Morel. That's who's going to win. That's who's going to win this fight. The better boxer is going to win this fight. Both have come forward styles. Both of them attack their opponents, frustrate their opponents, stop their opponents from thinking. Both have power in both hands, even though it's not one punch knockout power for either one of them. But I think the more skillful boxer, the more smart. No, let me not say the more skillful, because both of them are skilled. The smarter fighter will win between David Benavidez versus Dave Morrell. So with that being said, and then we also got to think about the money. Everybody in the world wants to see David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. So you also got to think about the money. Y'all always say this is a business. This is a business. If the fight go 12 rounds, David Benavidez gonna probably win this fight. They're gonna choose David Benavidez because the money fight is Benavidez versus Canelo. David Morrell has to win by knockout or just blatantly beating up on David Benavidez. Because if it go 12 rounds due to the money issue, due to the fact that the world wants to see Benavidez versus Canelo, they gonna give it to David Benavidez. Because we all know money talk, bullshit walk. Money talk, bullshit walk. And I'm not saying that because of me really wanting to go with Morel. We just got to be logical. This will go on in boxing. We've seen it several times when there's a big money fight that's on the line. The money fight is going to stand forward. We all know that. So if it goes 12 rounds, Dave Benavidez is going to win. They're going to give it to Dave Benavidez. Even if Morel go out there and it's a draw, even if it's a draw, Morel ain't walking away with beating Dave Benavidez because the money fight is Canelo and Benavidez, not Morel and Benavidez. So Morel is going to have to go out there and put on a spectacular performance or knock out or make it a white glove and blatantly clear that he beat David Benavidez to the point where no one can question it. And I think that's going to be very hard for him to do without a knockout. So let me read some more comments, then I'm going to come up with my prediction for y'all. What's good, Brandon? I also give a slight urge to Benavidez due to experience, but I like Morel more personally. Yeah, you got to give Benavidez that experience. You know, better fighters, you know, fighters with better, you know what I'm saying, resumes that fought better opponents than Dave Morel. You know, you got to think about the Caleb Plants. You got to think about Demetrius Andrade and the, you know, way he did them. You know, he brutalized them. You know, and these guys who are seasoned, you know what I'm saying, they got seasoned salt on them. They flavored well. He still went out there and gave them hell. You know, so it comes one thing also this is with the height, you know what I'm saying, 6'1" and 6'2". Now we just seen David Benavidez struggle with a guy who was tall. You know what I'm saying, even though, you know, Demetrius Andrade, I think is 6'1", 6'2" himself. You know, but Demetrius Andrade is a much older fighter. You know what I'm saying? He been, you know what I'm saying, took a lot of off time, you know, due to his career and management issues and stuff like that. And I think he was probably like a year layoff before he fought, you know, David Benavidez. But we got a guy who's this guy's active, David Morel. So it's gonna be a good fight. Let me see what Brandon Braswell say. You see Cromell Moulton coming in over 15 pounds. Yeah, that is crazy. Especially for him to be over there with the Mayweather clique. So 15 pounds, that must be he must be fighting somebody who good. And they trying to make sure that he come out victorious. Because that's ridiculous to come in 15 pounds overweight. That should be a fine or something. Now, the sad thing about it is he coming in 15 pounds overweight and he still go out there and be whooped. So this must be a credible opponent that Mike can beat him if he coming in with that weight advantage. First of all, how's they letting this fight even go on with him being 15 pounds overweight? Now, we just seen fighters come in 4, 3, 5, you know what I'm saying, pounds overweight, but 14? You know, what's the point of having weight class if you allowing a fighter to come in 14? Now the fight got canceled. I'm sure it did. It should have. And y'all got to forgive me. I ain't been watching and paying attention to boxing that much. But Brandon, they shouldn't have let that fight go on. He come in 15 pounds overweight. That's embarrassing. This who they say gonna be the next Tank? This the dude they talking about gonna be the next Tank coming in like that, 15 pounds overweight? Somebody fighting somebody? Now that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous to even come on now. But you know how Mayweather Promotions is going down anyway. He's supposed to be at 133. Yeah, they shouldn't let that happen. That's wrong. Canelo won't fight Benavidez. It's too much to lose for Canelo. His ego won't let it happen. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He is too much a threat. You know what the problem is with Canelo Alvarez? He doesn't want to pass the torch. He don't want to pass the torch to Dave Benavidez because Dave Benavidez could possibly go down as the best Mexican fighter of this era. You know what I'm saying? Right behind, even surpassing Canelo Alvarez. See, if Canelo, which I don't know, Canelo ain't got all the belts no more, so that wouldn't make him undisputed. But beating him passes the torch. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like what Floyd did. Floyd wouldn't fight too many black fighters because he didn't want to pass the torch to him or lose to him. So Canelo, he'd rather go fight Europeans. He picked Europeans. He'll fight black fighters, but he would not fight a Mexican fighter because if a Mexican fighter beats him, the torch is passed to that Mexican fighter. You see what I'm saying? So that's why he really don't. He ain't afraid of David Benavidez. Don't get it twisted. Canelo is not afraid of David Benavidez. He just don't want to lose to him. He just don't want to lose to him. Because once the torch is passed to Benavidez, Canelo is forgotten. See, that's why Canelo would rather go around and fight Herman Mangals and this fighter and that fighter, because it still adds to his legacy. We still talking about Canelo Alvarez. If Canelo going to lose to David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez becomes Adrian Broner. And he don't want that. Because David Benavidez is young. You see what I'm saying? David Benavidez could keep on going, keep going, and possibly never be stopped, never be beat. So he don't want to pass the torch to him at all. He's not afraid of David Benavidez, y'all. David Benavidez actually, with what Canelo has in his arsenal with the body punching, he could possibly beat David Benavidez. He's not afraid of him. He just doesn't want to lose to David Benavidez. That's the thing. He ain't afraid of David. That's why Canelo want this amount of money, 150 million, this, that, me. Yeah, because he know there's a possibility he can lose to him. It's not that he afraid of him. He just know the torch gonna get passed. You see what I'm saying? Kind of like what Floyd Mayweather did. Floyd passed the torch to Canelo Alvarez. He didn't pass it to another black fighter. That's what a lot of people got to understand about Floyd Mayweather. He didn't pass it to another black fighter. He didn't say, oh, this black fighter will be the next great. No, he didn't do that. He passed it to a Mexican, which is no problem. And Canelo probably would pass it to a European or a black fighter before he ever passed it to David Benavidez. Before he ever passed to David Benavidez, it's going to go into a fight of another nationality. Canelo going to get on stage and say, this guy is next. You see what I'm saying? Even if, let me put it to you like this. If Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford was to fight, if Terrence Crawford was to move up 3 weight classes and fight him, he would say Terrence Crawford is the next best thing, like Floyd Mayweather did him, instead of saying that towards David Benavidez. He don't want David Benavidez to take his crown. If you think about it, Canelo is really the last like Mexican superstar if he don't pass the torch to David Benavidez. Nobody else is up behind him like David Benavidez. No other Mexican fighters are up on the status of David Benavidez to get the torch. So just think about that. Morrell has a 78-inch reach compared to 74-inch Benavidez. So Morrell has heavyweight reach essentially. Yes, but that can be broken down if he allows David Benavidez to come close on him. David Benavidez, I just said this earlier. If Morrell allows David Benavidez to get near him and constantly keep coming towards him closely, he's going to lose. David Morrell has to box. He got to use his youth and move his legs and box. If he don't, he getting knocked out. He getting knocked out. That's the only way David Morrell can win is with a body attack and boxing. He has to box, not fight David Benavidez. That's going to be his worst mistake, is trying to fight David Benavidez. He cannot do that. That should be nowhere in their game plan. He should attack David Benavidez's body early. Head, body, head, body, 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 head, body, 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 head. If he go out there and he try to go into a rock'em sock'em robot, he gonna get knocked out. Because he's right there available for David Benavidez right uppercut. by him being a southpaw. He right there available. He missed one left hand with a counter uppercut. He gone. He missed one left hand. Would they miss with that left hand and David counter him with an uppercut? He out of there. He has to box. That's the only way he gonna be push Dave Benavidez, body shots and box, clinch, footwork, angles. If that's not in Ronnie Shields' game plan for him, he's going to lose. He has everything in his arsenal to beat Dave Benavidez. It's gonna come down to game plan for him. Like I already said, Dave Benavidez just got to be Dave Benavidez. That's easy for David. This fight, the pressure is on Morel to execute a game plan well, not David Benavidez. He already expected to win. His style of coming forward, his accuracy, his punch accuracy, his hand speed, all that leans to Dave Benavidez just got to be Dave Benavidez. This fight, in order for Morel it's going to be all on Morel and his team. And Ronnie Shields, let me see, when he had both of the Charlos, from what I understand, which he still got Jamal. You know what I'm saying? He still got Jamal. But if Ronnie Shields can get him a good game plan, I'm riding with Morel. But if David Benavidez bags him up in that fight, Dave Morel getting knocked out. Dave Morel getting knocked out. Boots declined the contract. Boots don't want to fight nobody. I don't understand why folks and why fans don't understand that Boots don't want to fight nobody. Boots don't want to fight nobody. Boots done had opportunity. Boots could have went up when Terrence Crawford beat Madrimore, said, "Hey, I'm moving up to 154 to challenge you for the WBA Super Belt." He didn't do that. He didn't fight Brian Norman Jr. He didn't do that. Ada Hearns is trying to recuperate his money off Boots. Boots making $3 million fighting nobody. But I promise you this in the end. Y'all know who Eddie Hearn gonna set him up for? Conor Ben. I keep telling y'all that. Watch what I tell y'all that. Watch what I tell y'all. Probably after Boots' next fight, watch Conor Ben get a title shot. They don't even want Boots to fight Blair Cobbs. No footwork having Blair Cobbs. Take nothing away from Blair Cobbs. He done fought more ex-champions than Boots. But they don't even want Boots to fight Blair Cobbs, y'all. Y'all think they really gonna let him get in the ring with Virgil Ortiz? A come forward fighter with power that could possibly clip Boots and knock him out? Y'all forgetting that Boots is an email champion? An email champion? Boots didn't beat nobody to get no belts. Eddie Hearn gonna make as much money off Boots as he can, and when he get his money back, when he recuperate his money, that's when he gonna feed Boots to the Lions. All he doing is using Terrence Crawford's name to build Boots. That's it. Boots could have wouldn't challenge Terrence Crawford if he really wanted to. He don't want to. The Boots ain't finna go to no 154. There's too many killers up there at 154. Erickson Lubin, Virgil Ortiz, plenty of other fighters at 154. Man, he ain't going to Tim Tszyu, Fundora, Errol Spence up there now, Terrence Crawford up there. He ain't going to no 154. That was just an excuse because he couldn't knock Caron out. Oh, I can't make the weight. I can't make this and that. I told y'all this stuff I've been telling y'all about Boots. Boots don't even supposed to be fighting at 147 period. Boots is really should be fighting at 160. Boots don't supposed to be fighting at no 147. But then when he go out there and he can't knock out Caron, oh, it's weight issues. It's this and it's that. Well, challenge go up to 154 and challenge Terrence. Terrence ain't got no fight lined up yet. But then also what happened to Boots and them saying, we want to be undisputed. Okay, think about this. Think about this. It's common sense. Listen to me, y'all. This is common sense. We want to be undisputed at 147. Ain't that what Boots and them been saying the whole time? Don't you think Boots and them and his team know it's hard for him to make 147, but yet they've been screaming they want to be undisputed, but then when they go out there and fight somebody and don't look good, oh, now we can't make 147 like that. It's hard for us. That's because he didn't look good. That's because he couldn't knock out Caron. When they was signing up and they was talking about Brian Norman Jr., do you hear Boots them and Bowles and them talking about some, oh, well, we probably thinking about moving up anyway because it's hard for him to make weight. It wasn't no talk about that when it was trying to fight Brian Norman Jr. But then when they go out there, can't knock out Caron, oh, we got problems. We got weight issues. They want to get the hell out of here. I be hearing y'all Boots fans out here talking about some, oh, Boots can beat Madrimov. Let him go out there and fight Madrimov and see what's going to happen. Let him go out there and fight Madrimov and see what's going to happen. He going to get stopped. One thing that saved Terrence against Madrimov was his IQ and his skills. Madrimov is not no pushover. Let's get that understood. Let's get that really understood. Now, my whole point of making this video is that I'm supposed to give a prediction on who I think is going to win this fight between Dave Morrell versus Dave Benavidez. That's who I think is going to win. But y'all give me a second. Yo, where you at?
Hello.
Where you at?
I'm finna go around and get my baby.
You finna go get her?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, but since I'm supposed to come up with a prediction and decide on who's gonna win this fight, my first mind is telling me David Benavidez because, like I said, David Benavidez, all he has to do is be the David Benavidez. But the one thing that's stopping me from picking David Benavidez is this: that Gabriel fight. If you were 20 years old and struggle with a 31-year-old, that's a problem for me. That's a problem for me. If you were 21 years old, I mean, you were 20 years old and struggled with a 31-year-old and he knocked you on your butt, that's a problem. If Ronnie Shields is any form of a good trainer, if he watches that fight between Gavril and David Benavidez, if he picks a game plan from watching that fight, David Morrell is going to beat David Benavidez. But how can I make a prediction of a trainer doing his job? How can I make a prediction of the fact that Ronnie Shields may give him the best game plan, and then he go out there and get punched in the face and everything changes? Because he ain't been punched in his face by David Benavidez. It may change once, even with the great game plan. So my game plan, if I was Ronnie Shields, we're going to stay away from him. We're going to stay away from him in the early rounds. We're going to frustrate him. We ain't going to give him nothing to hit. We're going to put the jab in his face. We're going to put the jab in his mouth. We're going to go to his body hard. We're going to keep our distance. We're going to control our breathing. We're going to make sure that we're doing enough just to win the rounds. Not go out there and blow our wind. Not give them everything we got. Straight right hand jabs to the body. Get in close, tear his body up. Put the jab in his face. Create distance, angles. Later in the rounds, that's when we attack them. So, in my opinion, I'm gonna go with David Morrell, y'all. I'm gonna go with David Morrell. I'm gonna go with David Morrell with a good game plan to beat David Benavidez. That's who I'm picking. I think that David Morrell will come out on top of David Benavidez due to his youth, his athleticism, and the fact that I think that Ronnie Shields is a way better. See, it's the thing that David Benavidez's father gonna get the accolades of David Benavidez anyway. David Benavidez's father is not a good trainer. Let me get. Why y'all think Rayo left him? Why y'all think Rayo left him? Why y'all think Rayo left David Benavidez Sr.? David Benavidez Sr. is not a good trainer. If he was, Jose would be a better fighter. Huh. If David Benavidez Sr. was a good trainer, Jose would be a better fighter. And don't talk about, oh, well, Jose Benavidez just got one leg. No, they ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Jose Benavidez has no skill set. He go out there and he fight just like his brother off instinct. He go out there and fight just like his brother off instinct and their capabilities. David Benavidez Sr. is not a good trainer. He's not a good trainer. I'm gonna go with the better trainer, the younger fighter with the longer jab. I'm gonna go with you over. I'm gonna go with David Morrell, y'all. And it's hard to say that because David Benavidez is hell. But he can be beat. You just have to know how to beat him. If I was a trainer, I would know how to beat David Benavidez. Go to his body. Don't stop going to David Benavidez's body. Don't be no head hunter all night. Don't be no head hunter or no body puncher all night. That's how you get them. Yeah, Rayo still has that. Drizzle, what's up with your drizzle? Rayo still has that, but Rayo only been with what's his name? I like this guy, even though I think he kind of racist at times, but Garcia. I like Garcia, the trainer of Rayo now. You know, he of course he's still gonna make mistakes. He knew with Garcia. All that takes time, you know what I'm saying? But I think is it Robert Garcia? That's what his name is. Robert Garcia is a great trainer though. Robert Garcia changed Marcos Maidana. Had Marcos Maidana using the jab after a certain period of time. Robert Garcia is a great trainer. Whether, in my opinion, he like black fighters or not, Robert Garcia is a great trainer. And y'all gonna see Rayo change if he keep working with Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia is a good trainer, y'all. No cap. Robert Garcia is a good trainer. I don't really see no tricks in his arsenal. I just see him throwing an arsenal of punches, but no tricks. You know, a trick is like a pull counter. You know what I'm saying? A trick is like looking at the ground and punching your opponent straight in the face, or a jab to the body and coming over with an overhand right. There's tricks. I don't see no tricks from David Morrell like that. I don't see no tricks like that from David Benavidez either, though. I don't see that from neither one of them. And that's something I was gonna say now that we bring that up. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the skill set of boxing no more, man. Like the catch and shoot, or you know, like how Andre Ward will catch a shot and throw a right hand behind. You throw a jab, he'll catch it with the paw of his hand and shoot the right hand right behind. We don't see skill like that no more. We just see a bunch of dudes out there just throwing and slanging punches. The skill set is gone in boxing. The old school trainers and all that is gone. It is let me put it to you like this: the beauty of boxing is not there anymore. It ain't there no more. Like I tell you all the time, heavyweights was tactical. Heavyweights was. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired. I've been up since 6 this morning, and you know I'm trying to make this video. Heavyweights was tactical. They were fundamental. You know, they could roll punches, catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? Even heavyweights could do that. Now we just see a bunch of dudes, and y'all think, and trust me, from Shakur Stevenson and beyond, y'all think that they look technical or they got skills. Like, no, they don't got. The fighters of today don't have no skills like the old school fighters. Like the Floyd Mayweathers from behind the Floyd Mayweathers, the Roy Joneses, these dudes ain't got no skills like that. Don't get it twisted because you see them looking good and doing all the finesse. And no, they ain't got no skills like that. Fighters of the day ain't got no skills like that. They can fight, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they can't box and they ain't good boxers. I'll be stupid to say that. But as far as the technical standpoint, the catching and the shooting and catching punches, and no. A lot of them ain't got it. A lot of them ain't got it, fellas. They ain't got it. Crawford is one of the most skillful, talented. Tank is skillful and talented too. Usyk, Usyk is talented. I'm trying to see if I can think of another boxer that at this point in today just got the fun. What boxer of today has the skill set of fighters of the past? And I'm talking about like from the 80s, 90s. I'm trying to see what fighter has that. None. Crawford. Crawford got it. I ain't never really seen Tank do it. Tank just really a special type of fighter, a brute with skills, fast hand. Crawford is. Oh yeah, now Keyshawn Davis. I will say Keyshawn Davis. I don't know about NUI. I ain't gonna agree with you on NUI, Jay. You know I love you, Jay, but I ain't gonna agree with NUI. But Keyshawn most definitely. Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason got it. Who else? Andy Cruz. Abdullah Mason. I wouldn't say Usyk. Usyk a good fighter, but Usyk don't got like the old skill sets. Like the old skill sets, movement, IQ. Usyk is a great fighter, but I don't see, nah. Shakur ain't either. Shakur ain't got it either. Shakur good as hell too, but old IQ, no. No. Tyson Fury, no. Mm. I'm trying to name some more fighters that I see that do stuff that old fighters. Ain't really none. Tevin Farmer, even though he been losing, Tevin Farmer, he do a lot of old stuff that old fighters used to do. Roll punches and count off rolling and Tevin Farmer. Kind of like how Floyd used to do, duck under a punch and throw a punch and catch you. Stuff like that. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Tevin Farmer. Yo, you see how we just said that, you know what I'm saying? How we just said that at the same time, Farmer, Crawford. Yeah, a lot of these dudes ain't got it like that. They don't have it like that, unfortunately. But y'all, it's time for me to get off. I just wanted to give y'all my prediction. I'm going with David Morrell. I'm gonna pick David Morrell to win. But if it's a decision, they gonna pick David Benavidez because the money fight is David Benavidez Canelo. Morel is gonna have to clearly beat the hell or whitewash outbox the hell out of David Benavidez to get the victory. If he doesn't do that, if it's a close fight for 12 rounds, David Morel will lose, and they will give it to David Benavidez because of the money fight that stands with Canelo Alvarez. So that's my prediction on y'all. David Morrell, hopefully by stoppage or clear victory. If not, David Benavidez by 12-round decision, even with a close fight. So that's the way Easy predicting to y'all. I thank y'all for y'all time. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank everybody for coming. I pray that you share the videos. Let the world know who Easy Work Boxing is. And I thank y'all for y'all support. Y'all stay tuned. This your boy Easy Work, man. I'm out.